StatThePhenom is an emerging hip-hop artist currently making his mark on the global music scene. His style is predominantly influenced by the West Coast gangster rap scene where he was born and raised, and he's just joined us here now. How are you today?
I'm doing good, man. Blessed. Thanks for having me.
Now, you've got a new album out, and it's called The Legend You Never Knew. What would you say is the main sort of inspiration for that album?
The main source is just to kind of like basically just raise awareness to my existence, what I'm trying to do for the culture and for the art of hip hop, and just letting people know I'm here.
And how long did it take you to write and record the album?
It was a process. It took about all in all, it took about 6 months.
So, is that quite a long time for you, or is that kind of about right for the time that you like to spend?
Nah, actually, I like to do it a lot sooner than that. When it comes to just recording and actually creating the music, I would say it only took me about 2 months.
Yeah.
But just in the midst of getting it professionally recorded and mixed and the whole process of that, that's what added the more time on it. So.
Yeah. Now, going back to your sort of musical upbringing, can you tell me a bit about that? How did you start to get into this type of music?
Well, I took a trip with my mother to visit my older brother. He was in the Air Force and he was graduating or whatnot, and I was only about 11 years old at the time, maybe 12. And it was a long flight. So she said, okay, you guys can get some music to go on your Walkman or whatnot. And we went to Sam Goody,
Mm.
which is no longer exists, but it was a big ass like record store. And I grabbed two tapes, one being Master P, The Last Don, and the other one was Jay-Z,
Yeah.
Reasonable Doubt. And then it's been a rap since then.
And what would you say inspires your music? Do you have particular topics in your life that you write about?
Yeah, I just try to open the peripheral of what people see West Coast rap as today. Because a lot of people just try to put us in a box as only gangster rap, but it's a lot more going on in Compton, California, the West Coast period, than just gang culture.
Yeah.
So I like to talk about not only that, but more so the cause and effect of it. All angles, not just from one dimension.
And have you always written about that, or have you done other stuff and sort of started writing about that later?
Yeah.
And musical influences then, do you have anyone that you take a lot of inspiration from and look up to?
Yeah, I would say the Jay-Z's, Biggie Smalls, Nas, of course Tupac, Easy
Yeah.
E, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre. I would say that's the foundation of, you know, where I came from.
And how would you say your music is unique and differs from those artists?
Um, my cadence, the way I put my music together, it's a lot different. So I try to take a lot of
Yeah.
time in the art as far as sounding different and actually having something different to say because hip hop is a culture that's been around now for over 20 years. So a lot of stuff gets recycled and redid. I try to bring a new breath of fresh air to the scene.
Yeah. And have you had any highlights and gigs that you've played recently that have sort of stood out to you?
Yeah, I shared the stage with a few well-known artists such as like Lloyd Banks, E40, DJ Quick, um, Little Flip. Um, Shoot, the list goes
Mm.
on. It's been a time where I spent a lot of time, like just all over Hollywood and all these different venues, and got to display my talent on stage.
And do you ever sort of lose a bit of inspiration and struggle to come up with anything new? And if you do, what do you do to sort of get back on track?
Yes, I think that's something that's common with all artists or anybody that has a passion for anything.
Mm.
It's times where you find yourself with lack of inspiration. I went through that several times, and the thing that kind of gets me back in it is just reminding myself of the vows I took to myself just to fulfill my potential as an artist, and then my contribution on the hip hop culture.
Yeah.
and that alone just drives me to keep doing what I'm doing.
And outside of music, do you have any hobbies that you like to pursue, or is this taking up all your time?
It consumes most of my time, but I do also have a lot of other talents. Um, Through the years, I just realized that I just love to convey, um, be it musically, motivational speaking, writing, anything that I can do to kind of just make the world better for everybody.
Yeah. And I hope the answer is yes to this. In the not too distant future, do you have any more albums and songs that you're hoping to release?
Yes, of course. I got a lot of stuff in the works right now and things that I'll be working on soon. At the top of the year, I expect to have something else out for the people.
Great. And when you do release that, and for the songs that you have already released, where are all the places that we're able to check out your music online and buy it and listen?
Right now, they're on all platforms. If you just type StatThePhenom up, iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, whatever platform you use to listen to music, you'll find me.
Great. And on social media, are you on there for us to keep up with future projects?
Yes. You can find me on Twitter, StatThePhenom. I'm on Instagram as well, StatThePhenom _ HCM. And that's mainly where I spend most of my time on social media.
Smashing. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks for having me.